We're going to hear from some more young people now. We're going to go on to a panel, and it's going to be chaired by Kate Russell, journalist who famed from BBC Click and more, and who has been a really ardent supporter of technology, children and young people, internet safety over the years. So I'm delighted to invite her up to the stage to chair this session with the young people who are going to join her panel.
Thank you very much, Will. Wonderful. Hello. Come and join me, young people. Thank you so much. It's always such a pleasure to be invited along to Safer Internet Day. It's such an important message, and I love the positivity about the message as well, because it's easy to be frightened of things that we don't fully understand. And it is great to see again this year the event supported by so many organisations, so many schools, educators, and young people and businesses, and also the inspiring messages of all the young people and the pictures that we've seen and the stories that we've heard so far. You know, I often think that young people actually have a much better clue about what's going on online than us old fogies. For example, that crying with laughter emoji, I've learned something today. I thought that was a sad cry. So when somebody says something to me sad, because when I first started using, they were called smileys back then, it was literally, you had three choices, because you were using the semicolon, a dash, and then you could do a smile, a sad face, or you could do a sticky out tongue face using the capital P. So for me, it was like, I thought it was crying, so people are like, oh, my cat's gone to the vet. Oh, crying with laughter emoji. Not such a good idea. Also, you know, when it comes to stuff we share online, sometimes we really don't realise what we're doing. And I'm going to tell you a very quick story about something that happened to me last year with Periscope, which is a live streaming platform. So I was out in the back of my garden showing an audience of about 500 complete strangers, you know, where I live, and just, you know, showing the field out back, how pretty the view is. 10 minutes later, somebody sent me, or a couple of hours later, sorry, somebody sent me an email with Google Earth showing my front door. And he said it had taken him 10 minutes, knowing that I live in Hertfordshire, and seeing that there was a, you know, that railway track was there, and there was a field there, and the houses kind of did this shape, and it took him 10 minutes searching on Google Earth to find exactly where I lived. Now, I was creeped out. Like properly creeped out, but it also gave me pause for thought that even people like me, I've been a tech reporter for 20 years, and even people like me can get it really, really wrong, so it's worth looking behind the information that you're actually sharing. So we have with us today, to help explore this topic a little bit more and share some of their experiences, a brilliant panel of young people. I am going to ask them to introduce themselves with their name, their age, and an interesting fact about yourself, please. And we are going to start at that end.
My name is Andy, and I'm 14 years old, and I speak a bit of Latin.
He speaks a bit of Latin, just a bit. Would you like to care to share some with us?
Salve tibi gratias.
What does that mean?
It means, hi, how are you?
Hey, I think that deserves a round of applause, right? Brilliant. And next to Andy.
I'm Tabitha, and I'm 10 years old, and I have a twin sister called Zoe, and she's over there.
Yeah, you might have noticed the similarity when they were on stage earlier. Thank you very much, Tabitha. Okay, and next to Tabitha.
Hello, I'm Mohab. I'm 19, and my fact is that I've met Kim Kardashian before.
Kim Kardashian, so she is obviously a huge personality on social media, and has been a force for good and bad in terms of the way we see ourselves and sharing pictures online. Okay, and next to Mahab.
Hi, my name's Jarvis. I'm 11 years old, and I do street dance, and I've gone to loads of competitions, and I've won quite a few as well.
So he's a champion street dancer, yeah, good stuff. And finally...
Hi, my name is Aya. I'm 17 and I speak 3 different languages.
Wow. So, yeah. I'm feeling a little bit intimidated here. Although I speak Canadian, I speak American, yeah, okay, we won't go there. Right, okay, well, let's get into the questions, because you guys have been a big part of this event, and you've been sharing your pictures, you know, along the different themes of the event. And let's start by talking about body image pressures. And this is something that we've been speaking about for a few years online, and it's not just on, it's not just sort of on social media, it's gaming and all these kinds of things. Aya, do you feel as a young person under pressure for body image about the pictures that you post?
Definitely. Everyone's out there like trying to throw hate, but like you want to feel good about your image, and like that's done by like celebrities, because everyone always compares you to like Kylie Jenner or like any of the Kardashian sisters. You're like, but you don't look like them. I'm like, yeah, but you telling me that makes me feel really bad. So I'm just like, I post a picture that I like, and I know I'm good, like my body looks fine in my face, so I don't really want pressure to affect me as much as it should.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to be there like pointing out different flaws in it.
Yeah.
And then you won't ever find the perfect picture then.
Absolutely. Now, Andy, I know you're a gamer as well, like myself. And this is a criticism that the games industry comes under a lot. And I think a lot of people forget that boys are very often subject to the same kind of body image pressures. What's your experience?
Because usually, some boys usually show off show off their bodies, and then other boys would want to impress other people, and it just starts competition. Who has the best body, and it's just starts a competition between them.
Yeah, now the report that the figures that we did said 51% of girls admitted that they worry about how attractive they look, and only 35% of boys. Do you think that that's because some boys don't admit that they worry about it, rather than it just not being, the numbers being the same?
I think they don't admit it.
Yeah, they don't admit it. It's difficult, isn't it? Yes, Jarvis.
Well, some boys, they only work out and go to the gym to look good. They don't do it to feel good, to be healthy, and it's quite dangerous, because if they just do the top half of the body, they might take a picture and it might just be the top half, and then they're really skinny legs.
They got little spaghetti legs.
And you're not really showing the whole picture. So you don't want to be showing off. You want to just instead of being under pressure, you want to be healthy and feel good about yourself and not what other people think about you.
Yeah, definitely. Very good point. Okay, well, negative reactions can have a really big emotional impact on people, and people can say things without realising how hurtful they're going to be. 38% from the research that we did, 38% of people have received negative comments on a photo that they've posted. Mahab, have you seen this going on online? How frequently do you see it?
I see it almost every day, and I think they do that because they're hiding behind a profile, and I think in real life they would never do that. And I think when people go on social media, they're trying to hide themselves, and they do things that they would never do in person, including hate comments.
So when you see this, what do you think we should do? Should we, stand up and argue with the people if you see someone picking on your friend online? What's your advice?
I think the most effective way is possibly silence. Just ignore them. Don't give them the attention and move on.
Do not feed the troll, right? Yes, Tabitha.
When you go onto YouTube and you watch videos sometimes, they're underneath in the comments, there are quite nasty comments online referring to the video. And I don't think that's really acceptable, because they would never do that when you're talking to someone. You would never say, oh, you're stupid in person.
Do you, when you see that though, when you see it happening to perhaps a friend or somebody that you know, do you take the time out actually just to go and speak to that person privately and say, by the way, I thought your video was great, ignore what those silly people say? So you don't want to get in an argument online with the trolls, right? But it's nice to give a little bit of an ego boost to that person by telling them how great they are from your perspective, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Great stuff. Okay, pressures. Now, we all suffer from pressures of all different kinds, but online particularly, they come from very, very strange areas sometimes. Andy, do you think there is pressure regarding the images people share online? Do you think people are pressurised to share more images?
Yes, because if someone posts something you might find cool, you're gonna want to do the same. It's a bit like trends. So then when one person done a bottle flip, other people started joining in to get in with the trend and be popular.
Well, we do talk a lot about trends, don't we? And everything's trending, and you need to be trending in order to be sort of, up there with what's going on and current in the world. Mahab, what do you think about the pressures that people face when they're posting stuff?
I think they're putting the pressure on themselves. I don't think it's needed. I think we see all of these celebrities posting perfect selfies, perfect bodies, and expensive things. And we feel pressured to do that also, but I mean, we don't all have money, we don't all have a perfect body, and I just think we should own that and probably promote it.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more. Jarvis.
Well, like Andy was saying, people do like really stupid trends. Like there was one year like set yourself on fire trend. And it's like, it's like a chain reaction. One person does something really silly, and then another one says, "Oh, people are gonna really laugh at that. It's gonna be so funny." They don't think about their bodies, their health, and they think, "Oh, this is gonna get so many views." So like chain reaction. One person does it, then another person does it, and it starts spreading and spreading. And like people don't think before they post it, before they do it, and it's just not right. Like people shouldn't be doing these things that will hurt them, and even though it might be funny to the other people, what about them? It might really damage their body or damage them, and people might laugh at them. They might be laughing at them, and might just be not very nice for the person. After they've done it, they feel really bad. So I don't think trends. Some are harmless, like the bottle flip, but it's not my favourite trend.
Trends were invented by people who want to sell you stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just put that. Yes, Tabitha.
I think now selfies have got really popular, like they're now trends. And once when I went to the beach, there was this lady, and all she did was take selfies. Like, she only took selfies from like the waist upwards.
Yeah.
But then it
Did she
didn't.
have spaghetti legs?
She didn't have spaghetti legs, but she only cared about what she looked like. And I think that the beach and things like that is for enjoying yourself, not for thinking, oh, I need to post another selfie because then I won't get popular.
I saw two people, I saw two people at the airport as well, obviously going off on a holiday together, two women, and they were taking selfies, these big smiley selfies, and immediately the camera, they took the camera away from them, they just had the most miserable faces. It's like, that's not a true impression, which brings us nicely on to the next subject, which is critical thinking. We see stuff online all the time. We see stuff in the media, on television, in magazines, and we have a tendency just to believe what we're seeing. But we need really to employ some critical thinking, don't we, Aya?
Oh yeah, definitely, because not every picture you see online is actually true. Like it could be photoshopped or edited, and then it's probably not even taken with an iPhone, and you think you can actually replicate that photo, but really it's probably mostly it's with celebrities, because that's when you notice the difference, and then you try to mimic what they're trying to do, but they're really photoshopped, their legs, Beyonce did it, Khloe Kardashian had it once, but it was so noticeable that people complained and threw just hate at them, but they actually replied to it saying that it's actually them, but in fact it wasn't them.
Not. And do you think people, we see even in our friends, in our Facebook feeds and our Twitter feeds, we see our friends and they seem to have such interesting lives, don't they? They're always doing something really interesting. Do you think that there's the full truth is in that sort of story?
Always a backstory, because what you show online is what you want them to think you actually are doing, or you're probably bored at home or something.
When we were discussing this earlier, we thought of a new hashtag, didn't we? Dull day selfies. Yeah. So when you go home tonight, do the most boring thing you've got to do today, selfie yourself doing it, and hashtag it dull days selfie. That's what we're going to do. Okay, great. So now, it's not just young people, obviously, as well, that critical thinking should apply to. And I like to see some smiley faces. I think I'm going to see quite a lot of smiley faces here. Given the current economic and political global climate, how many of you think that adults need lessons in critical thinking as well? Hold your selfies up. Yeah, I thought that was going to be pretty much a clean sweep. Well, Tabitha, what do you think in terms of, how can we educate people more in critical thinking and how to recognise the truth behind a video or a picture?
I think people feel like everything they see is true online because the internet is like marketed at you as like everything is true on it, but if you're just a random person, you can put anything on there. And when you search for things, say I search for how to do a type of maths question, and then like 10 answers came up, but it wasn't the right one that I was looking for. So I think we need to make people aware of what is actually true.
Absolutely. Andy, have you got any ideas on how we can better educate people?
You could just say if there's like, as you said, you thought the emoji was like a crying emoji. So like it's pretty much like self-explanatory because as you use them, you like understand them more. It's just something new and adults aren't really used to them yet. So over time, like they'll get used to it.
Yeah, Jarvis.
I'm like, some people take pictures and like on Instagram they say, oh, I just woke up in the morning like this, and like their faces all done up and they have lipstick on, and they got like eyeliner and everything. And in reality, they must have woken up about an hour before and like, okay, I'm gonna go on the internet and everyone's like, oh, you're so pretty, you woke up like this. Oh, I wish I was you. Then you don't, like, there's always another story. Like, we did the photography workshop, seeing is not always believing.
Yeah.
And it's literally this, like, you might, because in the exhibition, there was, Tabitha was running away from Christian, and it looked like, so there are like loads of possibilities, but we chose they're playing a friendly game of tag, or she's running away from a bully. So you never know like what's on the internet, and like I think children or young people should be trained or like taught how to recognise this, like how to know what's real and what's not.
Absolutely. I mean, our survey said that 48% of people said, young people said, they're more likely to trust something that has happened if they've seen an image or a video of it. Now, you guys don't have to worry about dating apps for years to come, but, the accuracy of photographs in dating apps, I can tell you, that's something that needs to be fixed. This camera actually has a mode on it, a selfie mode on it, that takes 3 pictures. And then it blends them together so that it gives you sort of like, nice defined cheekbones and a pulled-in face. Can you imagine turning up to meet someone for a date when they've kind of like used all of these trickeries? It's not going to get you very far, is it, when you meet them in person? No. Okay, last question then. Educating people, young people, to be critical thinkers. We've done that one. Positive influences of images. Now, I've asked you all to come up with some positive thoughts about how you can use images or what you've seen online. So, Andy, maybe you can, what's your sort of positive message about how you can better use images online?
Well, you have to be careful on what you post online because what goes online stays online, and like if someone takes a screenshot or something, it's going to be on their phone. They can send it to whoever they want, even if you delete it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, true. Even if it's a private account you're sending it to, it's worth remembering that they can still share it. Tabitha?
You should always stay positive online because if you're positive, then other people can be more positive, and then it just spreads so everyone can be happy.
Smiling is contagious, right? Yeah, that's lovely. Beautiful. Mahab?
You should always repost something that you saw that you felt happy about. So I saw the Women's March being reposted, and I like that because it reminded me of how before women never really had rights, and now that we do, it just shows you that whatever we don't have now, we might have in the future.
What a great thought, yeah. No, so sharing that positivity and that positive message about the future and how change can happen. Jarvis, how about you?
I think you should always remember to check your photos, because you might have because people have been saying to me when I went up to them and asked them lots of questions, saying, oh, I've never really thought about this, how there might be a password in the background or my address or where I live, and it really made them think about looking back at their photos that they've posted and like seeing what could be dangerous. Because if you have any private information on your pictures, anyone can see. Because like what Andy said, what's on the internet stays on the internet. So you always got to be careful.
Yeah, yeah. And Aya.
It was a quote. It's like failure is like it's just a bruise, so it won't have a great impact in your life. So after that, you can actually get back and actually like drive through any like negativity because you're probably at your lowest point. So that was like a quote that really got me back.
And reach out to friends. Yeah, thank you. Brilliant. Well, I'll tell you what inspires me. You five, they've never been on stage before in front of an audience. I think they've conducted themselves absolutely brilliantly. They've shown themselves to be caring, thoughtful, and also intelligent young people. So please, a huge round of applause for that wonderful panel. Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.